Let's talk to Hadya Alawi from BBC Arabic, a regular here on Outside Source. Hi, Hadya. Well, I showed the map there, but give us a bit more detail on the state of this particular conflict.
Well, everything that we've been hearing in the past few weeks actually leads us to believe that the fighting is going in actually the direction of the Iraqi forces winning this battle. However, I think we need to put this in a little bit of context. Now, the military, the Iraqi military and the officials always, their statements are kind of to boost the morals of the fighters, one, and two, it's playing some kind of psychological war with ISIS.
Right.
So they've been kind of sending the message that the war or the battle is going to be over very soon. But actually, as you've showed in the map, that there are huge areas which are still under the control of IS in Mosul, which means that the battle is not that close to end.
How do we define victory in Mosul? Is there a moment or a place that once it's in the control of the government, the city is theirs?
No, not particularly,
Not really.
because there isn't like a military base or anything. But as you've mentioned again, it's actually, I think Al-Nouri mosque holds a very sentimental value with Iraqis because it's one of the oldest in the city, as well as with IS fighters. However, I spoke to a military official who chooses not to be named today, and he told me that the fighting is going to be more difficult after they regain the mosque. The reason the western side of Mosul is taking longer than the eastern side probably is because of the way it's built. It's built by, there are small houses, they're 50, 70 meters max, and the streets are so narrow that it's very difficult for military, actually, military to go into these streets and fight. So it's probably going to take a little bit longer than the eastern side has.
And presumably this battle for Mosul is forcing the Islamic State to change how it exists in Iraq, whether it likes it or not.
Well, I don't think it's going to exist in Iraq after this much. It's not going to have a stronghold in the sense, but that means it's going to move to Raqqa, which is actually, I've heard some unconfirmed reports from Iraq right now that IS fighters are actually walking at night and moving and crossing over to Syria in Raqqa because there's no border control right now. So that's where the next big fight, even bigger fight, is going to be, and after that is going to be Idlib.
Hadya, it's always useful to have you on. Thank you very much indeed. That's Hadya Alawi, and if you want to get the news from Hadya and her colleagues, go to bbcarabic.com.